Okay, I guess we can get into that. Of all, like, everything is hidden in plain sight. It's wild.
Because I didn't catch him. I didn't catch him because I've only seen it once.
Yeah, there is a ton. And it's wild.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Just from the start, the opening scene of the movie, you see the hats in the field. Like, that's the opening shot when you see the Prestige. Nolan literally is showing you the Prestige. Like, the hats. That's what the teleportation, like the duplicating the person at the end.
Yep.
He shows you the Prestige right at the beginning. Boom. Hint number one. You know the hats duplicate. Like, now you're kind of getting some. If you haven't seen it, you don't know. But if you watch it, you're like, oh shit, there's literally the answer.
You see the opening scene of a bunch of top hats, and then you see Angier like watching a top hat go into this machine, and it doesn't move. So you already know right there, like, if you're following.
Yeah.
If you're not just getting tossed around by Christopher Nolan's tricks throughout the whole movie, if you could pay attention to that one little thing, you'd be like, oh, I know where that hat went.
Yes.
Yeah.
Next one, whenever Borden is explaining the Chinese man, whenever Cutter, what's his name? The actor's name? Michael Caine.
Oh, yeah.
When Michael Caine tells them, go see the Chinese man, do that goldfish trick. If any of y'all can tell me how that works, then I'll give you guys 10 minutes with my acclaimed Mr. Ackerman.
It's one of the best promoters
you can get. He's going to put y'all on. Borden immediately clicks it. He goes, that man is fully committed to his act. Like, he lives his act day in and day out. Every time he goes out in public, he acts like a crippled man.
Look at the man. This is the trick. This is the performance. Right here. This is why no one can detect his method. Total devotion to his art. Utter self-sacrifice.
Because they find out they put the goldfish bowl between his legs.
Yeah.
Yep.
So he acts like a crippled. And so Borden immediately tags it because Borden is doing that right now. Him and his twin brother are like fully living this double life, committing to a trick they have not unveiled yet. Their whole life. Like, or at least their whole magician life. They've kept this secret under wraps. Yeah. So from then, Borden definitely is Borden catches it because he knows. Obviously, whenever Borden's reading Angier's... how do you say it?
Angier.
Yeah.
Angier.
When he's reading Angier's notebook, he says... Angier tells him...
Borden writes as if no one but he understood the true nature of magic. But what does he know of self-sacrifice?
You bloody fool.
Yep.
And he's like, you bloody fool. He's like, you have no idea what I'm doing. Like, I'm sacrificing my whole marriage for this trick. Like, every other day, I'm switching bodies.
Right.
Whenever the kid... Let's pull this one up. Whenever the kid cries, when he does the first trick, when you see that...
he says you killed his brother.
Yeah. So let's see. He goes, smacks it down. Obviously, we know he kills a bird. The little kid starts crying. He recognizes he killed a bird. The magician does his little flourish, brings it back. The kid doesn't believe it, and then whenever Christian Bale, Borden tries to come and tell the kid, it's okay.
He's fine. Look at him.
But where's his brother?
Boom, another line hinting that where's his brother? Because he knows that's what it's literally hinting toward that. The kid doesn't know that, obviously, but that's a line he wrote in there.
The movie, that line being in the movie.
That's a really good catch. Wow.
Yeah, because he could have said sister.
Yeah, exactly. Where's the
twin?
Yeah. Well, the twin would have been even more on the nose.
Where's the other bird?
And then when Christian Bale brings that bird back,
You're the lucky one today.
He tells him he was the lucky one today because that's hinting not toward Borden's trick, but hints toward what Angier's trick is. What is it? Angier. Like,
it's okay. When I was reading the book, I kept reading as Angier.
No, I just like,
oh, he's Angier.
Yeah. So he says, you're the lucky one today, hinting toward Angier. His trick is whenever he does his trick, you don't know who the lucky one's going to be. And then so more hints, even to this one scene in the beginning, whenever after the kid says, where's your brother? And he meets Sarah. He pulls a coin out of his ear. Simple little trick.
Look closer.
Double-headed coin. Suggesting again that these guys are playing two characters. So another little hint. So like so many little bitty hints in this movie. I have so many more. I'm just gonna go to one bigger scene here with the bullet trick. That's a big one where there's a ton of clues dropped.
Yeah, I mean this is like 5 minutes after the one prior.
Yeah.
With the bird.
No, yeah. Like
there's so many.
Dude, look at this list. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
Jeez.
Plus this scene has 3 of them. So let's see.
We're not even thinking about the ones that you might have missed.
Right.
Oh, this is just
Exactly.
the trick to wake Ackerman up at the end of my act.
Is it the masterpiece, the great trick?
No. The world is not ready for that one yet. This is just your run-of-the-mill, daring, spectacular.
Talking about his trick there with the girl, saying the world's not ready for my trick.
You don't tell anybody that, I told you.
Okay, so he shows her the trick,
Wadding.
puts the ball
And
in,
the bullet.
stuffs it in with the gunpowder.
Ramrod.
Then obviously he pulls it out, and then the bullet's stuck in the ramrod.
The bullet is not even in the gun when the charge is fired.
And hear what she
Once
says.
you know, it's actually very obvious.
Once you know, it's very obvious, which suggests again Borden and his brother. Me and you both knew that Fallon was Borden, dressed up to be Fallon.
Yes.
Once you know that, it's very obvious that's Christian Bale.
Yeah.
You didn't notice
No,
it.
not at all. Not
Which is-
even one. I was just like, that guy's kind of odd. He doesn't talk.
They're not really
Yeah.
showing his face that much. Like he's
Yeah,
just kind of
exactly.
a creepy guy throughout the whole thing.
So this isn't the brother. This is him.
No, it
That's-
could be.
so
They
there-
change every day.
There's a few tells you can sometimes catch that you know which one it is. You know which one's dating Sarah. This one right here is not the one that's married to Sarah.
Well, she always lets you know because she always lets you know because she's able to tell. That's why she always says, like, I can tell you mean it today, or
Yeah.
I can tell you don't love me today. It's
That's-
because they're both evil twins, but like the one that
Yeah.
essentially doesn't fall in love with her, like still has to have sex with her, still blah blah blah, and he admits it. He is like, I don't love her.
Yeah.
Like and the one that's talking to Olivia when he says like that really cold hearted, like, I don't love her, like I love you.
Yep.
And she's like, okay, like how could you say that? Like you had a kid with her, you married her, and he's just like, well, no,
Not
I
really.
didn't.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, so it's just funny. Like you kind of justify, like, man, poor guy, he just kept having to be married to a woman that he didn't love. It's like, no. First off, every person in this movie is a bad person.
So here, this scene, more hints.
One thing I noticed about the brother was it could be like prosthetics or whatever, but he seemed a little heavier.
Yes, at the end there,
Yeah.
he did.
His face,
That was a fat man.
yeah.
That was a fat
little
man
fatter
Batman.
than
I
the
agree.
original brother.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna try
And
to
I did
find-
notice
noticed
it
that
in
too.
this scene. And I didn't think of it like, oh, it's his brother. It could be someone. I just thought it was like, oh, maybe they shot this at a different time where he
That's just
maybe
lazy, Christopher.
Yeah. Yeah, but then I was like, maybe I don't think he would do that.
Yeah.
But then I just let it go. You know, I didn't think it was
Yeah.
a big deal. Just like something.
I don't think it's
That's
here in the scene, but
interesting.
whenever she says,
I don't think we've had the pleasure.
Mr. Fallon's mind, you know.
We can't afford to pay
The
it.
money will come when we get the orders.
Yes, but what about until then? I mean, what I earn, it's barely enough for us.
Don't worry about it. I mean, I'll share half my food with him or something.
he says, that's fine, I'll just split my food with them. Because they probably grew up from poverty. You kind of get
They
that hint.
have, yes.
You get that hint when he's like, when they first, whenever Borden talked about the Chinese man, and they watch him limp and get helped up into the carriage. He says that's commitment to your art is the only way to get out of this, and like bangs on the wall of like this poverty, like get this rich lifestyle,
Oh,
to be
right.
like a top magician, to
Mhm.
be successful. The only way is like to commit fully. And so he said, I'll split my food with them because they always do that. They kind of split everything. So he's like, I'll just split my food with them because they kind of already split everything. Another hint there. And then she says, well, you're going to have to split it with another person too because she's pregnant.
You're already going to be doing that with someone else.
You're...
Having a baby.
Oh, my God. We should have told Fallon.
And he goes, oh my gosh, you're pregnant? It's not the brother in the scene. He goes, we should have told Fallon. Because he just left. He's like, oh shit, we should have told Fallon. That's the guy that loves you. He's getting a daughter.
Whoa. Okay.
See, when it's...
The first thing he
it's
says is like,
just
oh
fucking
wow,
door-
we should have told Fallon. Like, that's
See,
congratulations.
now
That's
when you're
awesome.
looking back, you're just
Yeah,
like, that was
no.
just in my
This
face.
is great. I'm
We
loving
just broke
this.
down... That was like 10 hints right there in that scene practically.
And there were way more before that because another one before that, I'll just add this in after in post. Whenever the fact that Borden doesn't know the knot, like what knot he tied, it's
Oh my
because the
gosh.
other brother tied the knot.
Whoa.
So he's like, every time Andrew asked him what knot he
Yeah,
tied, it's
right.
the other brother, and he's like, I don't know.
And that could be easily written off as guilt. Like, I don't want to say what not I wrote.
Or he's like blocking it out of his
right,
memory.
right.
maybe.
Or doesn't want to say it because he doesn't want to guilt him or, get himself in trouble
Yeah.
for that.
Or doesn't want to admit the fact
yeah,
that he killed
admit it.
somebody.
Exactly. Yeah.
couldn't even catch it. did not catch that at all.
Really?
Yeah, really.
That's a good one.
And
Damn.
then, and so even I'm gonna pull this scene up too. This was a cool one too, because you can kind of. This is just Christian Bale's great acting. Let's see. It's when he first meets Sarah.
No, thank you for lunch, Mr. Borden.
You're welcome. Alfred. It's Alfred.
Alfred,
So, I'll use a cup of tea.
I scandalised the landlord, I think not. So I'll see you again.
So in that scene, whenever you see the brother walk her up to Sarah's little apartment room, and he's like, I would love a cup of tea. She's like, I can't have guests. It's the landlord's door. He's like, okay. He's like, well, you think that lock can keep me out? But the way Christian Bale's acting in that scene, he's almost like, you can tell that he's like kind of smirking because he's setting his brother up for the date. He's being his brother's boy, like a good wingman, because he knows he's gonna be in there to be the one that's like real there for the date, to like hook up with her and kiss her and be like the romantic in the situation for the part of the date. And so he's like, she tells him, I guess I'll see you later. He goes, yeah. And he like walks away because he knows he teed up his brother for this cool ass trick, and he's gonna help him out to get this girl with this cool,
the ultimate wingman.
Seriously,
Which would be funny, except like if this were to really happen to you, like if you shut your door on somebody and walked into, let's say, just your kitchen, and all of a sudden like they have teleported. Something's up.
She's into magicians, dude. She's into magicians.
I get
That's her
that,
thing.
but it wouldn't take a genius to just be like, wait, no, that's impossible. Like, no illusion, no nothing. Like, I shut the door and then you were in my kitchen. Like, you cannot just. I would have shot him.
Chicks love magic.
I would have shot him. Chicks love magic.
And then another big one. This is revealed at the end, but you notice it early on. Whenever she's wrapping his hand up again after he just got his finger shot off. It's been like it's been like a few moments afterward. You can tell time has passed, and she rewraps his hand. She's like, I don't understand how it's still bleeding. It looks just as fresh as it did the day you did it.
I don't understand how it can be bleeding again. It's as bad as the day it happened.
Because they just did it that day. Because they just chopped his fingers off to match each other with that crazy ass sacrifice. Another hint. Obviously, whenever Cutter comes back to Andrew and they want to do the trick, and he has that cool bird cage trick with the contraption on his back. Before he reveals like kind of this cool trick, he pulls out the dove, and he's like, I don't want to hurt this dove. He's like, you're gonna have to learn how to get your hands dirty if you want to pull off the impossible. Because Angier doesn't want to kill birds, doesn't want to get his hands dirty. He kind of wants to play magic safe in the beginning of the movie, but his character arc, he starts to get his hands really dirty, killing people. And so that line with Cutter telling him you have to get your hands dirty, it's like pushing him to like really get his hands really dirty at the end.
Push him over the edge for sure.
To then start killing himself every night.